Siri, part 11. So we are back in the 16 by 16 pen. About a week later, Siri is in heat, which is fine. She's been a little less willing to kind of be in space together. So today, when I let Dietz out from working with him, Siri just kind of walked in the pen on her own, and I just closed the gate and decided to just go back to, hey, let's, come to me and here's your food. Not as a treat, but here's your food that you get fed when I'm here. So let's see what you've got and what you're willing to allow today. So that allowed me to break through a little bit of her, I'm sure, mare hormonal, in heat personality. And she's not bad. She's really not. She's not like bitchy mare. She's just always clear about what's okay with her and what's not. So as she, felt safe putting her face in the bowl, she let me pet her face. She let me pet her neck. She let me pet her shoulders. And I really didn't ask for much more. Today just felt like, all right, intuitively, let's see. And her son is right behind me holding a food bucket in his mouth and playing with it. But today just kind of felt like, all right, let's just see where you're at. Like, I'm not going to try to push. I'm not going to try to make anything happen. But, with your face in the feed bucket, how comfortable are you with touching my face and touching your face? And she actually did really well. Ever since I can't remember, it was probably like part 6 or 7, when I relaxed from the fear that Siri was going to hurt me or I was going to have to protect myself, I have an easier time being around her because I know that I'm not holding on to that fear, which is then my protection, which then she reacts to my protection. So I just relaxed into, all right, we got a feed bowl. Let's see what happens here. My awareness of training is, not like, okay, every single time we have to keep progressing and every single time we have to get past this and get past that. I really feel like anytime we spend together, as long as it's healthy and connected and in communion with each other, it's great training, because life doesn't always happen in these like half an hour or hour-long training sessions, right? It happens when I'm going to get some more feed for Siri, and then all of a sudden Strider or Scarlet, who are both still pretty untouchable, are in the next pen, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I actually have an opportunity here to, while Siri's hanging out in the 16 by 16 pen, I've got some food in my hand, and I'll see will they come up and will they trust enough to take it? Because that's huge for them, just taking food by hand. We're not even near touch yet with these wild horses. So, that allowed also too, Lily came in, so I could give Lily some food. Lily's much more trusting, but Lily was very much like scratch my butt, not come near my face. And now she's starting to shift and change. So when I see training, I understand, especially for saddle training, that, there's steps to follow and there's a method, and, every horse is different, but you can apply the method to a lot of different horses. Where I am with these horses and recognizing that most of them are not even at touch level, that 30 seconds that I could spend that Strider just took 3 mouthfuls of food out of my hand. That 15 seconds that I could take that Scarlet took food out of my hand and make it no big deal. No pressure, no nothing. I'm just someone they can come over and start to feel safe around, and they can start to feel safe taking food out of my hand, and nobody is biting and nobody's being aggressive, while Siri is hanging out in this space. And then I can come in and work with her, let her take food out of the bucket, work with touching her face for a few minutes, work with touching her neck and her legs. A lot of people would probably look at this and go, that's crazy, like you're doing way too much and your focus is on too many different things. Except when I'm following the Wu way of where the energy's flowing, basically what I'm doing is just capitalizing on the moments that I have to take that time to train, whether that lands up for 20 minutes. I mean, Dietz was amazing today. We worked for almost 3.5, 4 hours, but it wasn't anything, constantly working on him straight. We'd work for about 15 or 20 minutes. I'd give him all his space. I'd go work with the other horses, and then I'd come back. And then not only is Siri improving and her hormonal self kind of calmed down and relaxed, and we're just sharing space, but on the other side of the fence, horses that are not touchable are also coming in to be supportive and to hold space and to feel safe being touched between the fence, which then translates to at least a step in the right direction for more handling and, more trust to be built. So as we're in the pen today, I know that the first 10 parts of working with Siri were really about a lot of her emotional stuff and how I felt about and the awarenesses that I had from her about how crucial it is to really be so unbelievably respectful and really paying attention, not just body language wise, to these formerly wild horses, to any horse really, any horse, any dog that you're working with, because they are highly sensitive beings. And a lot of our animal behavior training doesn't talk about the energetics of training and why that is first and foremost the foundation, because that's their most natural language. So we've translated a lot of behavioral information into quote unquote science, but that's really our human-based science. It's not truly the full understanding of what they know about animal behavior science. And that's through my research right now of working with them one-on-one. I'm not looking to understand, from somebody else's perspective, do X, Y, Z. I'm looking to be in communication with them to understand how it is for them so I can lay down their true science for us.